pull up the YouTube screen and see if we can see that we're on.
All right,
So
and I
we'll
just
look at
turned the sound
ourselves.
on. I think everything's working. We're almost on time. We're like only a minute late. Uh,
Woohoo!
I'm pretty sure we're live. I'm gonna check real quick. The
Okay.
camera's gonna go dark here for a second. Stream live 501. All right. Why didn't the screen switch? Oh, hold on a second. Let's see. Is it public? Man, there's so many nonsense things to do. All right, I think it's live. Do you see us on the screen?
I don't see the link for it. So I'm in the YouTube under live.
It says live. Stream settings. Private. Switch to private again. Man, is that annoying. Okay, here we go. Public.
Let me
Done.
refresh.
Save. Now refresh. We should be good to go. Got to switch it to public. Got to turn the sound on. All right, sound on.
All right.
Public. Are we live? I should check on my phone. All right, that's what.
Trying to look it up on my phone. Give it a second. Let me There we go. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Got it up.
All
Yep,
right.
that's just me looking at you, looking at me. It's like a whole thing. We can just go on forever. But yeah, we're live.
Excellent, excellent. Let's see. All right, so yeah, that's your job as a co-host. You got to watch the chat and everything else.
All right.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Matt, also known as Grape Ape. Welcome to another Sunday episode of the Collector's Alphabet. With me tonight is Matt De Micco. Matt, if this is the first time anybody's seeing you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Matt De Micco. I write for my own company, Cranky Clydesdale Publishing, Massacre Grounds, Port Mirror, Siege on Nom Island, X-Crawl Rodeo. So I'm pretty new, but getting around. Just got back from Dungeon Con. So I think we got a little feedback there.
Yeah, I was checking to make sure the chat was up. I think everything's working. But keep going. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so I got into writing a few years ago, and then have been working hard at it. I partnered with some great people to put out some great books, so I'm on my fourth book. Hopefully soon my fifth book. Before that, I was a police officer, a cowboy, done a bunch of things.
I mean, I think you're still a cowboy, right?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, still ride a lot of horses. So, I was a police officer for Mesa PD, which is, I live in Arizona. So I was a detective when I retired. Worked street crimes before that. And then during COVID, I went back to work because I got bored of sitting around. Went back to work as a wrangler at a dude ranch. I grew up around horses and ride almost every day. So most of my social media is me on horseback, and you see pretty pictures with little horse ears in front of the camera. So that's kind of my passion.
My father-in-law is retired APD, so he was in burglary. So
yeah, right. I was in property crimes for a little bit.
Well, we're here to talk about comics. So we know you are a comic aficionado. So we'll do like three segments. So I went to an estate sale yesterday, and I picked up these for $14. It is a whole series, which is why I picked them up. And I've never read it, but the Cartoon History of the Universe, that's volume 8.
That's cool.
It was $14. So
yeah.
This is volume
7. How old?
That's a good question. Let's see.
They look a little older because they're bigger. They're $2.70s, $80,
$3.50 in Canada. Canadians have to pay more for this one. It's pretty thick.
Yeah.
So it's got the history of the universe. I felt like
That's
when
really
I was looking at this that this was like kind of like Monty Python.
Yeah.
1987.
I can see that vibe. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking 70s, 80s.
Yeah, so I was thinking like kind of history of the world kind of thing. Let's see. Volume 9. Let's see if we got all the volumes here. This is volume 6, volume 2, Cartoon History of the Universe, volume 3, volume 4, volume 5. Oh, we got a double of 6. So the other thing I'm trying to figure out is I'm trying to figure out how to give giveaways on the channel, because I want to start giving people some stuff that are subscribed and watching, just because it's cool to hand out stuff. Oh, look at this. This was in there too. The Prisoner of Zenda by Anthony Hope. Classics Illustrated. But
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, there was like a dozen comics, so, you know, $1 a piece. You can't go wrong with $1 a piece. This one's 25 cents. Was 25 cents back in the day. So I don't know if these have any value. I haven't looked them up yet. I just picked them up yesterday. But, you know, it was the whole set, which kind of got me. And it was only 14 bucks. So I'll pay $5 for any kind of book almost. And I'll pay absolutely $1 for any comic. $3 kind of my limit on comics.
Well, a lot of those older magazine-style comics were really cool. You might have 3 or 4 stories that are not very good, and then one that is just amazing, and you just get good stuff in them. So, and you just don't know. Like, start looking at like the artists and the writers' names, because you'll find like somebody lost in there. You're like, oh wow, this is who this is. So it's kind of a pig in a poke if you get something really cool out of it, but still neat. Like I said, to me, when I collect, and you're going to kind of see what I brought out, I collect stuff that I like anymore. I'm not so much worried about value. I tend to trade stuff that's worth stuff just to get other stuff. So I'm not. I don't know. I just don't. If you pick up stuff that's really, really valuable, it's great. And if you want to put it away because you got to lock it up, and eventually if you get enough value, you got to put it in a lockbox, and then you don't even get to enjoy it. But I'd rather enjoy my stuff. But I like weird crap. So. That's no matter what we're talking about collecting.
Well, I mean, that's what you're doing. So when did you start collecting comics?
So I started. So this is. So my parents, when I was younger, I had a reading. I had an issue reading. So they were like big into, we need you to read. We need you to read. And it's funny because I went to Catholic school and they were like, oh, comics are bad. My parents were like, if he's reading, we just don't care. So they got me into comics. It's funny because that launched me into role-playing games and Dungeons & Dragons that came out because my parents like reading, math, like what is bad, satanic panic. But before that, it was comics. So I have some, I've been doing it since, whatever I could read. Nice. So before that, I was looking at the pictures.
What's the first comic book that you remember ever having?
Probably Batman was probably my first ever comic book that I remember. It was like Batman, Superman. I was always into the Super Friends. Just really, Saturday morning cartoons. You got up, it had the blank screen or the bars, and all of a sudden it went boom, and then your whole world opened up for Saturday. I mean, that's what you did. You got up early and you watched cartoons. There was no like get on and like, oh, I'll watch it later or I'll record it. There was no VCRs, no anything else. You got up and you watched it, and if you missed an episode, you missed an episode.
But
that was kind of our Saturday morning.
Those were the best.
They were. And it's just like, my parents would be like, go to bed. I'm like, all right, but I'm going to be up at the crack of dawn sitting in front of the TV. And honestly, when it started, because I'm old, it was like black and white TV. And then we went to, color TV and everything else. But yeah, I really got into the whole Super Friends, and that was the whole Justice League, basically. So, but they had Dan and Jane English.
Because his
Which one was?
Could create anything. Green Lantern. He was always my favorite. Oh, yeah. Green could create anything. And I thought that would be so cool. Like, I can create anything out of my green power. All right, well, show us some of the comics you got. Let's do like 4 or 5. Give us a little.
Okay, so I have no organization in this, so I'm just going to go. So I collect comics from the day and month that I was born, and then I have 3 boys. So I collect comics a lot of times from the day and month they were born. I will show you behind me. You can see it. I make these cool things that so that is Batman, the day and month that my son Morgan, who's now 27, and then the day and month Batman Detective Comics of when I was born.
Very cool.
So I was born with Man-Bat and the Shadow, which is super freaking cool. All right, so November 72, Man-Bat and the Shadow, awesome. And he was born during Batman's No Man's Land, so that was a cool run for Batman. But that, so I do each one of those, and I didn't want to bring all of them in, but I do one. I did one for Morgan, I did one for Grant, and I did one for Reed. And so I always collect the stuff that they were born at. So I got a couple of older ones, and I love older, non-powered kind of superheroes. So if you look at that, that is the Phantom.
All right.
It's an old...
I know the Phantom.
It's an old Carlton comic. But I love the Phantom. So I love the old school... look at, you can get it real good at the art.
Put that art, put it in front of your face so we can see it. You got to block your face off. There you go.
Yeah, you got to block my face. There you go. So it's but I have been a fan of the Phantom and the old school pulp heroes forever. I mean, we talked about I've got the sensational pulp classics eventually coming out. That's just basically a homage to something I loved as a kid. And it's just for some reason I am more drawn to the non-powered superheroes than the powered. Obviously, I was a cop, so maybe that's it. My dad was a cop too. My dad was a New York City police officer. But yeah, so we'll stay a little old for a while. But yeah, this is one of my favorites.
Is that one from November 72 or?
Yeah, it is. It's November 72. This is super.
Where he's got to take on a runaway elephant or something.
Yeah, dude, it's like I know we've kind of advanced to comics. We've got all kind of crazy stuff now, but the old school man against a big giant beast is phenomenal.
And I really love. Did the skull kind of reminds me of the Punisher? Did the Phantom grow into the Punisher? Do you think?
No, there's so many things about the Phantom that are just kind of the Phantom. It's kind of an homage to a lot of just the Shadow kind of spawned everybody. And so I don't think he really, because he's more like he has all these codes and stuff that he does. And, the twin pistols basically are an homage to the Shadow. But then he's got his animal companions. He's got a horse. He's got a wolf. It's just super cool. But I don't think the Punisher really is kind of in that wheelhouse. I like Punisher comic. I think it's great, but no, it's more of if he progresses, it's kind of a Tarzan meets Batman.
I meant like the skull. Don't you think the skull?
Oh, the skull kind of looks the emblem. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's the exact same skull.
Yeah.
So could be. I didn't really think about that, but sure. But yeah, Punisher's certainly not wearing... Well, Punisher's original costume was what? Black? Did he have white tighties on?
I don't know. Yeah, it was
I don't remember.
that made me think of it, because they look very similar.
Yeah, it's true. I've never, because, what a cool logo that is. Like, look at the logo right there. That's a freaking cool logo.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is old school art. It's only a few colors.
I wonder if they bought the rights to the skull or something like that. I can't believe there wasn't a copyright issue with the exact same looking skull.
Well, you got comics and copyright. They got into I'm not putting this out as fact, but I remember it's like DC, Marvel, and a bunch of them got into the war on that, and they all kind of dropped it because it was like they had several heroes that were just kind of traded back and forth.
Yeah.
And now with the open license on some of the heroes that had expired, I think they've given up. Like, unless you blatantly take one of their characters now, but like Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel, Shazam. There's like what's some of the other ones that like constantly the Shadow has gone in and out. Several companies have owned it. So and I have one of those books here too. So I don't want to jump the line.
What do you got for us next? Show us a couple more.
Okay, so I'm going to stay old school, and this is not going to shock you at all. We're going to go Lone Ranger.
Nice. I love those comics. November 72?
Yeah, November 72.
Okay.
I promise I'll get away from my birth date, but it's just like, man, did I love this show when I was growing up. You had the Lone Ranger and Tonto. When I wrote Massacre Grounds, because it was really silly that like Tonto who kind of taught Lone Ranger how to be the thing, was like became kind of his apprentice or his sidekick. In reality, it would be, the Lone Ranger would be his sidekick because he kind of taught him anything.
He'd be the wise master.
He'd be the wise master, right? So in Massacre Grounds, if you bump into a ranger it's an Arizona Ranger. I actually wrote it backwards, and that's a homage to the Lone Ranger. It's not political. It's just a matter of, I loved this show as a kid, and I'm like, I didn't want to just completely rip it off, so I put it backwards. So Ranger Bagat is actually from the Pima Native American tribe, and his John Walker is a homage to this guy, and he is like one of the NPCs in Massacre Grounds, because I grew up, I love this. You watch the show. TV was cool back when I was a kid. You couldn't miss an episode. You had to watch. It was like, okay, like it's on. And like everybody shut up. And then when the commercial came on, you ran to the bathroom and then came right back.
Shout out to the chat. We got Mox Owl, Jeff. I
blanked. You got Jeff Whitty.
And what's Bryan? Yep. What's Bryan doing there? He told me he was on vacation, that he couldn't make it to the show.
Yeah, he's like, he's back, and he's like, oh, so I jumped in when he was there. Hey, Bryan, I love you, bro. I would have been on too. And Bryan is another person I just met. We've chatted back and forth, but it was actually nice to meet him in person at Dungeon Con. So I had a great time there.
Bryan is normal host, co-host of the show. He's on vacation or something, or I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, you're here and filling in wonderfully, might I add. We might we might have to find a new co-host.
Ooh, wait a minute.
Show us one more. Show us one more.
All right, so let's say with the pulpy stuff, and this is a little newer, but we already talked about him a little bit. The Shadow. This was an 80s comic done, and they did a run of, I think, 3 or 6. So I'm getting a little shadow on the Shadow here.
Now, the Shadow, to get rid of it. He was another superhero without any powers, right? He was just kind of like a man of mystery.
Yeah, he had a power of mind control, like a limited power of mind control, where he would depending on how he was written, he could kind of make you see things, or not like completely think, but it was like the power of like kind of illusion, or he would kind of make himself disappear. It was it's a cool character. He Crimson Avenger spawned from him for the DC universe later on. A lot of people say Batman is based on him. The big trench coat and the red scarf and the fedora, and then the twin guns, twin pistols. Yeah, I was always pissed in the PD. It's like, all the superheroes carried 2 guns. Why do I only get 1?
Yeah, they wouldn't let you have 2 guns if you wanted one?
Yeah, well, I had one tucked away, but they didn't like us carrying.
You had like a leg gun, right? An ankle gun?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually carried, like, it's funny because people carried it on their ankle, and that was good for the car, but I always carried it under my shirt, like right here, because I figured if I was in a car, I could go, like, it's hard to get, like, because police cars, I don't know if you ever sat in, they're not comfy. And so my age, you had the big Sam Brown belt.
I've been in the uncomfortable back of a police car.
Yeah. Well,
that's even worse.
Yeah, that's not made to be comfort back there. But so I used to carry one like under my arm right here, and so then I could just pull and blast if I had to from here. So it was I used to carry here. I had one on my ankle, and it's just uncomfortable. Try to run with that thing on, slapping you in the ankle. It sucks.
Well, let's see if we can channel some of the Phantom's mind power. Like and subscribe. Like and
That's
subscribe.
Right.
Like and subscribe.
This was May of '86. It's, I think, 1 of 6, but it's either 1 of 6. I have the rest of them.
So it was a limited series. See, that's what
it was a limited series.
I can't stand
by DC.
I can't stand missing an episode in a series. Like,
yeah,
I'll stop the whole comic if I'm missing one.
Yeah, it's and the catch line was, "He's back and God help the guilty," because he was very unlike Batman, where he was ultra violent, and so he was one of the I just really enjoyed, like, these are old school, like my dad used to talk about it, and I'm gonna say thank you on the air because, and I'm gonna go grab it real quick. So I get to Dungeon Con, and this is how great Matt is. He's like, "Here you go." He hands me a pulp book. like right off when I walk in. So I really appreciate that. I want to give him a shout out on the air. Little Maverick, cowboy.
Once I get to know people, I see all kinds of stuff they would like, and I'm like, all right. And so I was in the bookstore, Half Price Books, I think is where I got that, and I was like, look at this little itty bitty Maverick poker book, and I was like, I immediately thought of you being out on the trail playing some, poker, sitting around the campfire and stuff like that, and Maverick's a little bit of cowboy himself, so I was like, this would be perfect. So I grabbed it and scooped it up.
It's well loved. Thank you. I came home and, like I said, the whole pulp thing is me and Bert and Joey are working on it right now, and we had the Ashcan version at Dungeon Con, and that's going to be available for download soon. So you can do before the Kickstarter. You can kind of do the quick start rules, and so I'm a big fan of pulp. But I've got books. And
I feel like if you win any money from playing poker now, that I'm kind of like 3%. 3 to 5% invested now that I'm giving you Mavericks tips.
That's right.
All right, let me go. So I bought this lot, and I've been waiting to open this box.
Oh, cool.
So I've had this one about 2 or 3 weeks, and I haven't looked at it yet. But I bought most of these for $1. So I'm just gonna $2, and it was an auction. It was an online auction. And so we got some Red Sonja here.
Cool comic.
Little Red Sonja Chaos.
You cannot get better armor if you're a woman, the bikini armor. Because,
have you ever heard of this one? Namite Lives? So this is, I think Dynamite Comics or whatever. But they were playing on Namite. And, I don't know, I just thought that was cool.
I thought I had a Dynamite comic here.
Live action Vampirella.
Vampirella, yeah.
Some more Vampirella. And so usually when I was buying comics, I just buy anything that I thought looked cool. MicroNauts.
MicroNauts was a huge comic when I was growing up. I had the toys to go with it. Rom? Was it Rom? Was the other one Micronaut? And then I think it's Rom. Was another big book when I was a kid, and it was just it was a cool book.
Now, if I see any of these from November '72, I'll send them to you.
Dude, absolutely. I will certainly. Conan the King. Okay, cool. You got some cool books there.
Conan the King, I think, which was after Conan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely scooped up a few Conans.
Yep. Oh, Jeff Talanian he was showing me his online. I was looking at him. They were like, he had MicroNauts, and I think the other one was wrong. I think I might be butchering the second one.
I don't know. This one might be German. Let's see. And so, a lot of these, I was looking at the cover art. It says Sacred 6. And if the cover art was cool, which one this is obviously appealing cover art.
Yeah.
But this is a newer one. I saw Vampirella, Red Sonja. This says Draculina and Lilith. So I guess it's like they're I don't know, like a vampirist group. It says Pantha, Nyx, and Chastity too. I don't know who they are, but obviously they're part of the Sacred Six.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I kind of told you that I could have done a whole episode and pick. We kind of agreed we're going to pick about 15 comics or at least 15 sets. And I told Matt I could pick 15 obscure weird stuff, Savage Tales. I do actually know that one.
Well, and so these count obviously more for 15, but that's just because I'm burning through them quick. So we're not talking about each one. Let's see.
Oh, that was I actually my sons and I were joking about it, and he's like, "You're going to pick 15 really super weird, obscure, and they're never going to have you back on again." I'm like, "Yeah, Lost Continent." So kind of like a Johnny Quest.
I don't know. This one says Lost Continent. I was thinking, what's that movie? That video game movie that Marky Mark played?
My kids played that video game.
I can't think of it.
Yeah.
See if somebody in the chat knows.
Marky Mark and Spider-Man.
Yeah. He was like the little understudy. That's the kind of vibes it gave me. Trekker, Rite of Passage. I don't even remember bidding on this one. That one might have just got thrown in there. But, alright, here, we were just talking about this. Punisher. And look at the daggone skull. The skull is the same.
Yeah. Okay, but what costumes do you have on? Oh, and Elektra on is that Elektra on the back?
That, let's see.
So that's Elektra on the back.
Let's see if we can find a picture of him. So he's got black and white. And Punisher Max. I don't know who that is. All right, there's a good shot. You know, he's got kind of the T-shirt with the skull on it.
Yeah, that's kind
of more of a graphic novel.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the Max comics because Max came out like Marvel decided they weren't going to stay with for kids anymore, and they went to Max. And I actually showed you one. I have one that was Jessica Jones, like she's sleeping, like the first comic she sleeps with Captain America, and they show them in bed, and they get out, and Captain America's getting dressed, and Jessica Jones got a little smile on her face, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is definitely an adult comic. I didn't grab any of them because we kind of talked that we weren't going to do anything.
Family show.
Get you in trouble.
Family show. I don't know if that's isn't it Tchaikovsky's The Magic Flute? Does Tchaikovsky make the Magic Flute?
Yeah.
Is that I don't know who did the composition. On the spot, Cerebus, and I feel like I've seen that character somewhere before. That little kind of like pig guy.
Burtis was into that comic right there. He's been telling me to go read it, and I haven't.
Fritz Lieber's Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser comic.
Sure. Yeah, you gotta. It's funny because we were actually talking about this weekend. It's like either you love that book series or you don't. Some people just can't get into it. So Lockmar. So the heist and that are really good. Tomorrow Nights.
This might be something. This might be something you like. And so I also pick up things that I think are going to be collectible. And here, especially if they're going for like $2.
Oh, coloring books. Yeah.
Well, coloring book, DC Comics coloring book. Now this one is pretty new, I think, but
yeah,
you know, it's not one of the one from the '80s or whatever.
Yeah, it's funny. Comic books have gotten really advanced, and like people a lot of use them for therapy now. So people you pick them up and you're like, wow, this isn't your average comic.
This one kind of looks like James Bond, the Medusa Chain.
Yeah.
All right,
All right, so I would have thrown stuff out. We would have just been going back and forth. We'd have a whole show on like odd crap that nobody knows about. Wonder Woman, obviously.
Wonder Woman coloring book. Dragon art, fantastic creatures. How to draw dragons. I'm a horrible artist. Well, I mean, I can draw a couple things. I can't do faces. Faces is my downfall. I didn't even buy this. I don't know why this is in here. This has some stuff that I did not buy. That he just kind of threw in here, I guess.
He wanted rid of it. He was like, here you go, see if this comes back. Drakken.
Now, this one is in German, I think. It's in another language.
That's pretty cool, though. So, yeah, it's
pretty sure that's cool. German. D and Der. Die Behasten des Drachen. You speak any foreign languages?
No, I used to be able to have a conversational Spanish when I was with the PD. And it's funny because I really need to brush up and get fluent in it again. Used to be able to actually hold a conversation at least enough to do it, but I haven't done it in so many years. I've just gringoed out.
All right.
Should not let that skill go.
One more before I pass it back to you.
All righty.
Heroic Dreams. Which I think is going to be kind of an art book. Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Kind of like an art portfolio. And then
yeah, I have
Guide to Fantasy Art Techniques. Now this says £8.95. I think pounds or euros, whatever that symbol is. But
I have a couple different art books that I like. I flip through them. Got it's cool.
All right, that's it for me for a
All
while.
right.
What do you got?
I'm gonna key off of you saying heroes, and I'm gonna remind people about this run that Marvel did. So they did what was called a moment of silence.
Okay.
So these are 9/11 memorial comics, and they did a magazine also to celebrate the heroes of 9/11. At one point, people liked us, especially the cops. Firemen are always kind of liked. But Marvel did a whole run, and these books are good. At different artists did tributes to 9/11, and the artwork is fantastic. So I'll put it here. It's a little bit hard to go through because it was a tough time. Obviously, the World Trade crashing down kind of changed our whole. But they actually, Marvel did a wonderful job of paying homage to the first responders. You see all the Marvel characters in there. They put out a whole line of comics that they say they didn't say a word. They basically, in a tribute to the firemen that were lost, and New York City firemen and police officers were lost too. But I thought these were the coolest things. I've got them. Kept real good care of them. And then they also took. The neat thing about this is they actually took some of the pictures of the real people that were at Ground Zero.
Wow.
So I think it's powerful. I think it's kind of neat. What I tried to do with this is I gave you guys an insight into me. So you're not, well, you'll see a couple things there. That's like kind of maybe worth something, but I just thought like look at this. As far as art goes, it is super cool. We've got everything from doctors to firemen to construction workers, and they're going through Ground Zero. And I'm from New York originally. I'm originally from the Bronx. So New York's a big part of this. It just wiped out whole firehouses. I mean, it really did affect it. We had an aunt that we didn't know that she ended up living. She ended up running. She lived right by World Trade, but when the towers came down, she beat feet and held up in a cafe at Greenwich Village for a while. But we were just really lucky. But this was a big part of, if you were first responder back in early 2000s, in the 90s, this was a big part of who you were. So I just think these comics are really neat. I've kept them. It's funny because the Captain America there.
Is that a tear coming out of his eye?
Oh yeah, he's upset. It's a really cool homage to a different time. Like, police officers right now are not well liked. In some communities they are, and they should be, because you do get bad police officers, you get bad firemen, you get bad plumbers, you get bad electricians. I'm never going to defend somebody that doesn't do their job and commits a crime, especially if you're wearing the badge. I'm not going to defend you, but the majority of us that did the job really did do it for the right reasons. And when and
that's the problem. You usually only hear about the ones that are doing it for nefarious reasons, or that mess up on the job and make mistakes. Those are the ones you hear about the most.
So this is a really cool Hulk at Ground Zero. I like this. It's just pages after pages are really cool. This is a real powerful one. The officer's just sitting by the torn up flag. So, like I said, this is basically, you're getting a really good insight into me. And they did a whole comic, like it's an actual story, and it doesn't say a word. That's completely pictures. I hadn't planned on showing this, but when I found it, I got drawn in on it. Like I told you, when we started this, I was actually texting Matt a lot, and I was just like, dude, this is hard. Like, pick 15 comics. It's like, okay, I could do 50 comics and just sit and be like, okay. So there was definitely some comics that I'm like, okay, I didn't go. But yeah,
well, that's the whole reason you're on the show. We want to know about what you collect and what's passionate to you. That's the whole premise and the whole idea of the show. So what do you like collecting? That's the people we want on here because we want you to talk about it, and we want to know what moves you. And because you might not connect with everybody. There's somebody out there that you connect with, and they're going to be like, all right, that's cool. I'll check that out.
Well, Beatty's all happy right now if he's watching the show because I actually just showed 2 different pictures of firemen, so he's like, "Oh, I knew
David Beatty, author of the Weird Frontiers, he finally retired from being a fireman. But if he's not watching the show after we just gave him that call out, I'm gonna see him at NTRPG, and I'm gonna kill his character again."
Yeah, you should always kill David. That's for sure. It's like nothing else happens in an RPG game until you put David to death.
All right, you got to go through a couple now. Give me a little speed round and give me like 3 or 4 of them.
All right, so I'm going to give you these because this is fun because we talked about weird, and I think this is a good segue because I brought up David. If David wrote a comic book and it was crazy weird, because if everybody thinks of Weird Frontiers, but that crazy clown book that he did that is just I think won
Carnival of the Damned.
Carnival of the Damned.
So we did a live play of that on the Reaver Express, and that was just, there was probably like 20. Maybe 25, definitely over 15. Just like different carnival encounters that you went through as you're going through the carnival, and they were just out of control. They were great.
They were super weird. Anyway, so I was going through, and I thought, okay, what would be DCC if it was a comic book? And because it would be weird, and then I think pulpy, and then superhero-y. So the JSA did a Strange Adventures. And these are super cool. There's 6 of them, and I'll flip through. What?
You got to cover your face and put it in the middle.
Right.
There you go, right there.
There you go. It's hard for me to see.
Well, you don't need to see. You're showing us the book.
Okay. I'll get there. I'm sorry.
Who's GSA? Who's JSA?
JSA, Justice Society of America. Okay. So we got Wildcat, we got Dr. Midnight, we've got Starman. So this is the old school World War II heroes. But this is a newer comic. It's probably early 2000s. But they did this is a miniseries. They did, so in this, you've got Zeppelins, you've got cyborg Nazis. It's really wild and fun. And they're the JSA guys, Wildcat, are all complaining that they won't let them go and fight in World War II. So you've got like a bunch of cool, like Gonzo over the top, like in this one you have a cool over the top monster. It's kind of right out of one of David's Weird Frontiers thing. If you look at it, it's right there on the cover.
Yeah.
So you got cool monsters, and then this one we've got the Atom, and we've got Wildcat, and he's fighting Nazi cyborg men that are kind of half man and half cyborg, and they're powered by like.
What is Wildcat's power?
Wildcat's power is to kick the crap out of somebody. He has no powers.
All right.
So Wildcat's one of my favorite superheroes also. He's basically a boxer. He can fight. He actually trained Batman. He was trained by the Spirit. His power is he will whoop your ass. And that's his power. It's a great, fun, wears a cat costume. I think when he comes back, he's kind of immortal or something, but the traditional Wildcat is just basically, he's just a dude that can fight, and he kind of puts himself on the line. He's got a cool suit.
All right.
So Strange Adventures.
Who are the other one? Wildcat and who else?
This Wildcat and the Atom in this one.
So what's the?
So you see,
go up a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So, yep. See the Atom. So Atom Smasher. So it's kind of the JSA's version of the Atom, not the Atom, the shrinking Atom one. Then we've got Flash. We've got Dr. Midnight, Hawkman, Hawkgirl. Old school Green Lantern.
Hawkman. Super Friends.
We got Our Man. Not Johnny Quick. What the?
Did you say Our Man?
Our Man, which is this guy right here.
HOUR?
Yeah, it takes a pill.
Unit of time. Hour.
Yeah, he takes a pill, and then he's got an hour thing on his that he wears in a necklace, and he flips it over, and he's got an hour of superpowers.
Really?
And it's a really cool JSA thing. This was kind of, they let in Dr. Midnight, which is this character right here. Real cool. They don't have Hootie in there with him, but basically has an owl. Is basically a certified doctor. His glasses give him some powers. He's blind. Super cool thing. But this little series here, if you guys want something weird and something that would be DCC that's a comic, it would be this. When I was flipping through and I found it, I was like, yeah, this is the one we have to do. I thought about David's David is coming out with a new cover and a second printing of Weird Frontiers. He's been showing you the monster that's on the cover, and as soon as I saw it, I saw that other one. I was like, okay, this is I'm going to show this. So just cool. The flashes in the middle there, Hawkman and Hawkgirl kind of snuggling up over there.
I feel like Our Man could be like Flavor Flav. Got the clock?
Yeah, with the clock. But then we've got, and then you just kind of got this undead thing going on, but behind Dr. Fate, and you've got Atom Smasher again, and he's kind of creepy and weird, and take you over the world.
Keep going,
and the Nazis are involved.
Keep going up nice and slow. All right, right there. Yeah, I always love good undead.
Yep. So great art. Yeah, pretty good story. I mean, it's not. Like when I thought of that, I was like, okay, what's going to tell those story about me a little bit? I was like, So yeah, I thought these were super cool. When I was going through, I was like, yeah, I love the old school superheroes before we got to Superman's been around forever, and I don't have a problem with Superman, but he's boring. He can't be killed. He's stronger than anything, can pick up a building. I like old school.
Did you see the last Superman movie?
It was okay.
The one with
it wasn't.
I didn't like it. Where he learned Superman's move. Spoiler alert. Where he programmed or he learned Superman's moves and he was fighting him on a computer. I was like, that's dumb. I was like, come on.
Yeah, I liked Crypto. I thought it was a good handoff where they didn't just retell the beginning story again. I think it was a decent start. I don't know why we had to get rid of Henry Cavill. But I mean, he's a good Superman, I guess. I wasn't.
Like they made that movie just so they could make Supergirl, right? And that was the only reason they made another Superman, was to introduce Supergirl. When you could have just introduced Supergirl.
I'm not arguing with you. I feel like we do a lot of movies of redos of movies that we don't really need to redo. And it's just a lot of times the original one was just fine. But we can go down this rabbit hole. We can talk about Star Wars too. It's it's just bad.
C is for comics, so we got to stick to the comics.
So I agree. We'll stick to the comics. All right, you're up.
I'm up. All right. So this is my poll list from this week. So I was stopped by the FLGS, the Friendly Local Game Store, 2 days ago, and I picked up my poll list for the this month and last month. So we have I do not know. These are from Free Comic Book Day. We missed Free Comic Book Day because it was on the Saturday of Dungeon Con. And so I went in and I was like, hey, do you got any comics left? And they're like, oh, yeah, we got a couple right there. So I grabbed those. All right, this is my poll list. This is my pull list. So Thundarr
the Barbarian.
Thundarr is coming back out. So that's number 3. And let's see. This one I just got. It's so this is the 8th one. But Skinbreaker, and it's a new comic, and it's kind of like, it's definitely in a weird world. Look at these weird creatures. Yeah. And so he's kind of like a warrior, going through these adventures and travels and stuff like that. I feel like, it's kind of like a Conan, but not necessarily, more primal.
Looks cool.
So that's a good one. Savage Swords of Conan. So not the reprint of the old stories, but the
new stories.
Yeah, the new stories. And then episodes 13 and 14, because I missed a couple months.
Cool.
I mean, I love me some Conan. So Robert E. Howard Days is coming up. If you have not been, it's in Cross Plains, Texas, where Robert E. Howard was born and raised. And the vendor hall is his front yard. Everybody sets up a table around an oak tree, and there's 8 spots in Robert E. Howard's front yard, and they go through a tour of his house, and you walk through the town, and the town is so small that there's no hotel in Cross Plains. You actually have to give a hotel down the road like 15 minutes in the next town over.
That's
so
cool.
Since they restarted the series, I've gotten 1 through 20. This is episode 21 of G.I. Joe. So I'm going to try to collect the whole run. Because, I love me some G.I. Joe from back in the day. And then I love a good EC comic. So EC Comics been on fire lately. They've been putting out all kinds of stuff. What is it? The Epitaphs from the Abyss. And this one is Catacomb of Torment. And there was another one that they put out. But I love me some EC Comics, like the old Crypt Keeper. And, so I get those too. But some nice scary stories. Great comic book art. And so what wasn't in there was a new Conan. So I got the new Conan. And then there was this book. I've been waiting. So there was a comic called White Boat. And it was kind of like Cthulhu-esque. Where it was these twin brothers. And one of the brothers had died or gotten lost in the sea, in the ocean. And the other brother went out to become like a millionaire or whatever. And I guess the brother that was lost turned into an island. They made 2 or 3 comics, and then the whole diamond thing collapsed.
Yeah,
the comics collapsed, and I don't think anybody picked up the series. And so I'm 3 episodes in, and I'm like, I need to know the end of the story.
Yeah. Well, they hurt a lot of people with that. They left a lot of people. They screwed a lot of people, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was rough. All right, but those are the current comics that I just went and pulled. And so if you haven't, consider going down to your friendly local game store and getting a sign up for a comic pull. Because there's some good ones.
All right, so I'm gonna do some current ones. So I went there specifically because I've read this, but then I'm a sucker for a hardcover, and the hardcover Absolute Batman is out, and it is a beautiful book. And it collects the stories. If you guys have not read Absolute Batman, Absolute Evil, all this, I mean, it is a phenomenal series that it's an original retake on all the characters. So Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, The Flash, Aquaman. This particular book, Batman, is phenomenal. He's ultraviolet. He kills people. Alfred is kind of this secret agent, kind of twisted. He's not Batman's butler. It's kind of a reimagining of the whole story. It is really, really good, and the art is on point. And then they've done all the DC heroes, and they're doing, I think, like a Justice League 2. But if you guys have not taken the time to read it, either read it online, or I don't know if you could even find the original book, like individuals anymore, because they're pretty hot. But I went there specifically because this was a hardcover, and I was a sucker for a hardcover book. I don't know. There's something about just having a hardcover book, but this is probably one of the best things out right now. I know I'm not telling anybody anything new, but it's a really cool book. If you have not read the Absolute titles, they're totally worth it. You might not love everything about every character, their reimagining of them, but the Batman one, it's hard not to like. He's got a dump truck for a Batmobile. It's a giant, you're like, and it goes off and then it goes underwater and you're like, oh. And then he blows up a whole building. He doesn't care about killing people. He's just like, you die.
I mean,
and then
they gotta reimagine it. So
they reimagine. So that was one of the new ones. I wandered in. I had no intention of getting this, but then I got hooked.
Who's your favorite superhero of all time?
Batman, for sure. Batman? There's a couple that come in right next to him, but Batman. If I said anything else,
then who are the other couple?
So I like Batman, probably the Shadow and the Phantom. But you could probably Dr. Midnight would be in there somewhere. He's really cool too. Wildcat would bump in there too. But probably those three would be my all-time favorites. But yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know. But Batman is well, you guys can see, like, look at the shelf, like Batmobile, Batmobile, Batmobile down. So I used to have them before my wife got married, and I got married just like 20 something years ago. My house was like decorated with like, it was decorated, it was nice, but it was definitely like I have like a Batmobile sitting over here on the coffee table and a Batmobile over here on the shelf, and she's like, "Are those Batmobiles?" So then we got married, they kind of got banished to where they belong in the rooms and stuff. I'm like, so no longer. But yeah, so I've got not every Batmobile because they keep coming out, but the Adam West Batmobile, the old school. But this is comics, so we won't do that. But so I went to the comic book shop, and this is something I did not know was coming out. It's Cassian Andor 1 with an alternate cover of
Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu, and so I thought, what's that?
No, my computer's about to die, so I'm trying to get my wife's attention, but she's not listening.
But so Cassian Andor #1 was something I wandered in. I was like, okay, this will be cool. It's pretty good. It's not the art is real good. It's kind of a story that's kind of separate from what we've seen. It goes with the whole. If you've watched Andor recently, it kind of stays with that theme for Cassian, and I thought it was really cool. This is something I just wandered into. I was like, okay, cool. I've been watching Maul on TV. That's been a cool show. 10 episodes of Maul. That's been, some of the new Star Wars stuff. It's cool. We have the shows that shall never be talked about in between.
Have you watched the Mandalorian series?
I have watched the Mandalorian series, and I watched, Boba Fett, and then all that was the Mandalorian, and I watched. That was just that actor. He can't hold down the show by himself. The guy that plays Boba Fett. But when the Mandalorian came on, it was freaking phenomenal. And the same one with Ahsoka was really good. I know that's coming back. So there are some good shows that they're putting out now. So hopefully it'll get better and better. All right, I'm going to give him a shot.
5 minutes left.
Oh gosh.
So give us the speed round.
Speed round. All right, I'm going to give him his shout out because Feral is a comic that's actually being turned into an RPG. Frank Avila is promoting it. I have talked to him. It is a cool project. You got Mountain Man error, Trapper error, werewolves, lycanthropes, and pirates. Super cool. And it's a comic out of Canada. He did G.I. Joe, so I did G.I. Joe. So that's G.I. Joe #1.
Are those? Is that the old one or the new one?
This one was 2000 eras, but this was when they reintroduced it. G.I. Joe kind of shut down for a while, and then Image took it over and brought it back. So that's the #1. We've got another really cool Batman-esque character. We got Space Ghost. Love Space Ghost. Grew up watching it on TV. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna talk about obscure superheroes that I love. Because what person doesn't crave Azrael?
Now that's a demon, right?
He is.
I've heard this one.
No, Azrael is basically if you remember when Bane broke Batman's back, Batman actually chose Jean-Paul Valley to take over as Batman. So he turned into this uber, ultra-violent Batman. He had a cool bat suit, and then when he wasn't, he was Azrael, and he kind of progressed. There was a huge fight. It was really cool. God speak to him. It's a super cool comic. I've got the whole run of it. He is a complete B character. I don't think he's even around anymore, but he's part of the Bat family. And if you watch Batman's No Man Land, he is the one running on this ultra cool, and he's an ultra cool, like, violent Batman that killed people. So he lost the mantle of the Bat. There's a big fight between him and Bruce Wayne, and he gets the mantle taken away from him, but he holds his own against Bruce Wayne. Number one, this was obviously a cartoon for a long time, and when this came out, I had to have it. I loved Batman Beyond. I thought this was super cool. I wish they would have done more with it. It's kind of coming back. But yeah, always liked Terry McGinnis. I think that's a great idea. And now they've reintroduced it where like Bruce Wayne is kind of fighting alongside him, and he's kind of like a Batman unmasked. Moon Knight, but he has some powers, but Batman-esque characters. Love Moon Knight. Think he's cool. The show was okay.
Yeah,
it was a little too much.
It didn't last for more than there's only like 2 seasons.
One
right?
season.
One season, and then
I thought it was one.
Maybe.
Yeah, they didn't know what they wanted. I know the run they were trying to do, but it was like maybe introduce the character first before you go to his psychedelic, his trauma and his mental illness. So I think they got way too much into that. It kind of turned people off, but he's still a cool character. What are we doing here? We'll stay with kind of the fun stuff again. The Spirit, another Batman-esque. These are both Darwin Cook. Darwin Cook's one of my favorite artists. I told Matt a story about, he was super nice gentleman. We used to hang out at Comic-Cons and San Diego Comic-Con especially. Super nice person. He died very young. It's unfortunate, but his art-wise, he did New Frontier, and I could have done a whole run on him. But I grabbed 2 of his books because the pulpy superhero Spirit kind of trained Batman. But he did Batman the Spirit and then Spirit. Both of these books are really good if you read them. What comic book collection would not be complete without Jim Lee? So when Jim Lee took over Batman and then did Batman and Robin, it was just phenomenal. He kind of reimagined the bat suit. Nothing, extreme, just made it cool. Just love the way he draws Batman. He kind of did a little different suit here than here. And then I was at Comic-Con when he kind of released these, or they released this one. Just one of my favorite artists of all time, Jim Lee.
Did you get those signed? Are those autographed?
I did not. The line was around the building and through, and I do not know him. Spider-Man. Another character of mine that's been, since I was a little kid. I had like Spider-Man, Peter Parker. They had, I can't remember, Spider-Man and Friends or something like that. Everything was with Friends, or something like that. So they had Spider-Man, Iceman. Who was the other one? Firestarter? Or was it Human Torch? I can't remember. But
Human
basically,
Torch
they had
Fantastic Four.
So he wasn't. So it had to have been Firestarter, Iceman, and him, I think, and that was the Saturday morning cartoon. But this is actually from the month and year my son was born, my oldest son, one of them. But I've got books from when all of them were born, so that's something cool. This I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about. This is one of my favorite comics of all time, and I'll kind of end with this. So this is Superman.
You didn't like Superman though.
Okay, but there's a reason for this one, and I'm going to explain it. So Superman, Man of Steel. This comic is not worth a dime. This whole comic, he meets a police officer on duty. They sit and they have coffee together and they just chat. And at the end, so Superman is getting the what for a bunch of people because he can't save everybody. So of course the cop walks over and goes, "Hey, it's okay. You can't save it. You can't be everywhere. We can't be everywhere. Where you can't save everybody." And Superman takes it to heart and is sad and walks off. And the cop actually consoles him. And they go sit in a diner. They have coffee. Then Superman goes save somebody real quick, and then comes right back. He's like, "Oh, are you off break? Can we keep talking?" And they sit and talk. At the end, unfortunately, the officer gets dispatched to a family fight call. Superman arrives just as this guy jumps in front of a bunch of kids, saves their life. He dies. Superman is reminded that he can't save everybody. It's one of my favorite comics, and most of it is him and the cop just talking back and forth. Just struck home. Thought it was a super cool comic. It's been one of my favorites. This is like when you originally asked me to be on the show, I'm like, yeah, I'm showing this one. And like I said, it's not the artists on it are nobody big, but it's one of my favorite. I don't know, it just struck home with me, so I really enjoyed this. And I've got dozens and dozens of other stuff that I could show, but I think this is a good cross section of what I wanted to show off. So
absolutely.
Yeah, like random Superman that, like I said, he wouldn't even be top 20 on my superhero list, but that book is phenomenal. I don't even know if they make Man of Steel anymore. That was one of the underlying Superman comics, but I just love the whole attitude of the book. It's just been, yeah, it's interesting because they're not fighting. Well, the police officer ends up going toe to toe with a superpowered villain, like a B superpowered villain. He just actually saves the superpowered villain's kids by like shielding them as the ceiling comes down, because the villain like takes apart his own apartment and falls into rubble. And the police officer, like, it's funny. I guess maybe it strikes home because we had the Bat Belt, but we didn't have anything else. So I guess that kind of struck home. But I thought this was super cool, so I want to share that. And I've got other stuff, but I think that's a good way for me to kind of put a period on it, and we'll stay on time.
That'll be perfect, Matt. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank you for sharing your passion with us and talking about comics. Let's see. Next Sunday, everybody, I'll be in the coast at Pelicon. So if you're down by Texas City, Corpus Christi, stop by at Pelicon. I'm gonna hit a couple bookstores down the way, so I've got something to show. I'm not sure who the guest is gonna be next week, but Bryan Spellburn will be back. And let's see, Sunday, 8 o'clock. Oh, there's 2 little short videos of Bryan and I saying thanks for 50 subscribers. We hit the 50 subscriber mark. So pass the video around, like and subscribe. Our next landmark is 100. So help us get there. And we appreciate you. Put in the comments what you like collecting. And I've got a guest list. I'm looking for anybody. If you want to come show what your passion is and what you collect, hit us a message, send us a message in chat, send me a message on Discord or Facebook, and we'll get you on here.
Show off weird crap.
Yeah.
Everybody collects weird stuff. So, tell us what's weird and you like and collect, because everybody's got something that they are like, oh, this is my, and we don't care as long as it's.
Well, we do care. Not.
And you can show it off.
Yeah.
Well, we do care about that. Yeah, not PG only.
All right, but that's it for our show, Matt. Thank you for coming on, and we'll definitely have you on again.
Very welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, bye everybody.
Thank you.